I'm Dan Hauk.
Hi, I'm Chris Wataqua, and welcome to week 4 of Intentional Relationships. This week, we're going to have some fun.
That's right.
It's usually one of those weeks people enjoy the most, getting some new insights in how God made them. Now, you may have taken some of these personality or spiritual gift assessments before, but there are changes that can take place over time as we grow in the Lord. Dan, what are you reading?
I can't believe it. I failed my personality test.
Dan, I assure you, you have a personality, you didn't fail.
Well, in all seriousness, Chris, God has designed each of us uniquely, and He's done it with the personalities He wants for us. We also have gone through different experiences, which makes us qualified to do things no one else can do. You know, this is also true when it comes to your spiritual gifts and your love languages as well.
Yeah. So, Dan, how does knowing some of these assessment results help you in your relationships?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When it comes to personalities, we all have strengths and weaknesses. For example, one of the things I love about Teresa is she's so empathetic. When people talk to her for the first time, they feel like they've known her and been friends for years. She just makes people feel heard and understood. But there's a flip side. She's also very sensitive. There's been times when I've said something to her and it's just crushed her. Now, I didn't mean to hurt her, but she is sensitive. So now I could say to her, you know, don't be so sensitive. But if she wasn't sensitive, she also wouldn't be empathetic. They go together.
Yep.
Now, I'm different. I'm a little more adventurous, a little more spur of the moment. And what goes with that sometimes is I've gotten lost or I've gotten distracted or been late. You know, we give each other grace because we realize that we have strengths and weaknesses, not just strengths. So knowing this has really helped me in all of my relationships so I can give people grace when I realize the thing I love most about them also has a flip side.
Right.
And I'm called to love them for who they really are. So what about you, Chris?
Well, I remember in my 20s, I read this verse in Ephesians 4:11 through 16, which talked about the various gifts that God had given us, but that all the gifts were for building up the body of Christ, that each part was equipped so the body grows in love. So I wanted to know, what was my gift? Because I want to help the body grow. Well, I took a spiritual gift assessment, and I found out that my high gifts were administration and evangelism. I was like, I don't want to be a secretary, and I cannot preach on no corner. I had no idea what these two gifts really meant. But after learning more about them, about their definition, I found out that I was gifted in organization.
Yeah.
And I love to share my faith,
She
but
does.
I now shared it with not as much fear as other people have. I began to see God grow these areas of my life. So I took some extra time to learn more, including practicing on how to share my faith in any circumstance which affected all my relationships. Now, years later, as I continued to grow in my first relationship with God and then others, I decided I'm going to retake this test, this assessment. I noticed how these particular gifts had grown, and even some other ones that were kind of low had also grown. A great reason to retake it from time to time.
You know, I've also taken those spiritual gift assessments, and over the years, I have found that I have been changing all along the way. You know, one of my spiritual gifts is leadership, but my leadership level has changed over the years. One of the first things I led was a 5th grade Sunday school class. Now, that was a challenge. But since then, I have had opportunities to lead in business, and I've led ministries and even churches. But it's only through a lot of trials and training. So we can all grow in our gifts throughout our lives. And you know, Chris, that gives me a lot of comfort. Now, I remember you told me a great story about your mom and the 5 love languages.
Yeah. Oh, my mom. Well, as some of you might remember, my mom and I lived together for 7 years after my dad's death. I remember those first couple of years being really difficult with a lot of challenges, as most family relationships have. We were such different people. She had her ways of doing things, and I had mine. She was a morning person. I'm a night person. She communicated by saying nothing. I communicated by saying everything. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to reread this book on the 5 love languages. Not only to affirm my own love language, but I wanted to see what my mom's were in hopes of helping our relationship, especially with our communication. I found out that her number 1 love language was service, and her number 2 was quality time. When I did something simple like empty the dishwasher or fold up the clothes, she'd fix me an awesome meal. I also found out when I was gone for long periods of time, traveling in ministry, she missed me. So when I got home, the first thing she wanted to do was, let's go spend some time together. And I was like, I'm tired. I just want to be alone. And it frustrated her. And then I realized, you know what? Let me go stay at a friend's house for a couple days prior to coming home so I can rest. And so when I did get home, I was ready to spend the quality time that she wanted. Knowing this information changed our relationship for the better, and our unrealistic expectations, something we learned in week 2, became realistic.
You know, that's so good, Chris. Well, we hope you are ready to share what you've learned about yourself today as well as others. And you know, it's a great idea to take notes about what other people have shared and discovered about themselves, because the more we know and learn about others, the better all of our intentional relationships will be.
Next week, we're going to be looking at Chapter 5, Blind Spots. This will be eye-opening and will give you insights about yourself, things you might have missed. It's also one of the keys to understanding your intentional relationships with others. For more information, be sure to go to our website at intentionalrelationshipsolutions.org. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
That's right.
Bye.